Shoes Hangout? What's that?
Shoes Hangout? Oh. I got a Discord call.
Oh.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
No, hey, well, hold on.
Is this the LARP chat room?
It just did something different. Hold on. Oh, there we go.
We're in the LARP. This is the LARP chat room. We're LARPing. We are officially LARPing right now. Everyone.
Whose shoe?
We've done a couple LARPs lately, just not the way, we're used to.
What we have done is gone to a couple stopgap measures because people don't want to meet in large groups and
don't want to sit
put themselves in respiratory distress and sit this close together.
But yeah, that's 6 feet, right? Anyways, so yeah, we've been trying things a little bit differently.
People have come up with some widely varying approaches to try to keep people connected and keep some sense of momentum and normalcy in a situation that is anything but.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's start off talking about the first virtual LARP we went to, which was the Dead Legends.
Dead
virtual
Legends.
LARP.
It's not the first one that that anyone did, but it's the first one that we participated in.
Mm-hmm. And all three of us were there. We really gave it the college try, as they say.
So Rousdower, what was the format of the Dead Legends virtual LARP?
It was all on Discord, and basically there were just different little chat rooms that were the different places you'd go to. And if you went on a mod of some sort, that was a different chat room, and you would just sort of jump over there.
So they had a chat room for like the saloon. They had multiple saloons.
The streets, Low Corner. Can't forget Low Corner.
Just to represent not everyone standing in one big circle and trying to shout over each other. The saloon was the bar
sectioned, yeah.
and table 1 and table 2 and that dark back corner that all the shady types try to cram in and look mysterious.
The saloon was fun. I remember having fun at the saloon.
So you said whenever you were going onto a mod, you went into a different chat room. So Phil, you want to explain to us about that process?
Well, the way that it was set up was that they had some general purpose chat rooms further down in the Discord that would be like, this is the wilderness and this is that mountain over there. Or this might just be the road outside of town. And in the first run of the Dead Legends events, they would just have, like normal, an NPC would come into the saloon and be like, hey, I'm looking for some people to go do this thing. And try to gather people that way, like you normally would at a game.
Sending out a hook, yeah.
Yeah. And it functioned, but it wasn't smooth or clean, and I guess not everyone felt like it was working. So the second time they did it, they had, instead of sending out hooks, there was an ahead of time sign up process to say, hey, there is going to be a module going out that is called this, and we use some vague hint about what it might be. And if that sounds like something you would be interested in, you would put your name on a list to be grabbed when it was time for that. And then there would be multiple things going on at once, and you could say, okay, I want to be in that one, and I don't really care about that one. Or you could just stay in the saloon the whole time and hang out and talk. And like for some people, that's the part that they like about the game, so that's fine too. I
have to agree, because my favorite part of the LARP was getting to talk to our friends again. That was one of the big things that we love about the game, is the community, the interactions with each other. So we kind of immediately jumped back into that and started role-playing.
Doing our goofy little thing that we do with our group. And that was where I kind of had the most fun with it, was when we were just all sort of hanging out and doing our thing together. Even when we were just on the mods, it was like, we're being really goofy. We're just being our rapscallion selves.
And that's another approach that some people have taken to trying to run events, is rather than saying we're going to run this as a whole event, it will just say, hey guys, all of the people who play this game are gonna try to get online at such and such a time on this Discord server and just talk to the people that you know, even if it's not even pretending to be game. Sometimes just those social interactions with people that you like and haven't gotten to see in a while is all that people really were looking for.
Now, are you specifically referring to Epochs of Fate?
No, Epochs of Fate did something else.
Okay.
The Epochs of Fate model was that rather than just a generic hangout, they had some structure with what they were doing. There was like, we're going to do workshops about LARP that aren't the LARP, but they're at least directed and not just people sitting around like at a party not being sure what to talk about. They had like a costuming and makeup guide. They had some lore discussions and like a Q&A session that was all done in kind of the same way, where it's everybody gets on a Discord server at X time and operates sort of in parallel, but isn't trying to replace a game.
So the other one we actually went to was, well, at least some of us did, but not really. We went to Legends of the Seas virtual event. And that one just sort of took a very straightforward 2 modules approach. We all started off in the tavern, saloon, Kingfisher Hall, whatever they call that. And it was, oh, hey,
I think that's a tavern.
there just happens to be a Kraken outside. Let's go deal with that. And that was actually pretty fun, even though it was a lot more straightforward than...
That one was much more like a traditional tabletop
Yes.
role-playing experience, where it was like, this is the party, and we're all going to go and do a thing together.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the number of people that were present, that's how it really worked out the best.
I still have issues with that random number generator, let me tell you. It was a comedy of errors for my character every time he had to do something.
Well, I'm aware in Dead Legends they used a tool within Discord that you would type in and it would draw a card for you. So what did they use for Legends of the Seas?
It was I think it was a 1 to 10 number generator, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And I literally, just about everything I did was a 1. Like, it was bad. It was hilariously bad, but it was still pretty bad.
Yeah, one of the things that a lot of the people who are trying to put these things together have to deal with is figuring out how to educate. That's not the word I'm looking for.
How to take the live action portion, the ducking, the dart shot, the shield bashing, the parrying, how to turn that into something that's not live action.
Yeah, which is a problem that I don't want to say it's solved, but it's extensively explored in the tabletop role-playing world, and not all of the LARPs are equally approaching their random number generation systems. There are some that are not doing that at all. Everything is very narrative driven. There are some that just say roll a dice 1 to 10 and we'll, like, whoever's got the highest number wins. And there are some that are actually looking at more involved methods of deciding who is better at sword fighting in this particular moment.
I mean, you can't really do, throwing chops over Discord.
Well, random numbers worked out fine for that.
I would argue that in the parlor LARP system, playing rock, paper, scissors was never a very good answer. One of the things that has been a common thread in that and also in some of these others is, how do you represent someone who is a little bit better than another person versus much, much better than another person? And those don't work very well with simplified role systems. You need a little more depth, but the more depth you put into it, the more you're just creating a tabletop pen and paper RPG. And that's really not what people are here for. At least I wouldn't mind it, but that's not what the goal is for the people who are putting these things together. We're really trying to recreate the LARP fun and not invent a new game that happens to have the same characters in it.
You don't want Dead Legends the RPG. You don't want Legends of the Seas tabletop.
I mean, that game is called Deadlands and it exists.
Yeah, we're not. So I guess that leads us to these asynchronous events that have been going on.
I don't know how widespread they are, but there's some people who really don't think that the virtual events are quite what the goal is, but they also don't want to just let the ball drop. So the thing that Legends of the Seas is going to be doing going forward is what we're calling asynchronous events, where people in their own homes or wherever they happen to be get together and do something as a community, but not necessarily at the same time at 6 o'clock on Saturday. It's whenever they have time and wherever they are. The one that the Legends of the Seas is doing is just a photo shoot to set up a costuming and a backdrop and toast to the camera about a celebration of something that happened previously in the game.
I think it's an interesting way to bring characterization, because again, that's one of the big things of LARP is you want to have your character out there, you want people to know your character.
Oh, that's every time you dress up, you're getting into character. That's characterization right
Absolutely. So one of the things that they encourage you is to try to set up like a scene, like you said. So if you're a woodsman, if you're a lumberjack, you can be out there with your axe and a couple stumps. Or if you're a fisherman, for example, you could be out there pretending to fish or what have you. The one that I'm excited for with Legends of the Seas is that they're going to do a short film little thing, and that's what I'm excited for, to make little short films.
I can't imagine why you.
I don't know why one would make short films about our characters. That's so strange. But moving forward, I think that's a really interesting idea. We don't know how long this is going to last for, where we cannot have physical events. So this might be an easier way for people to swallow and stay involved in the community. You can't see my character, but you could see Felix interacting with his Virginian editor. You may not be able to see Rousdower going out there on an exploration.
But you can see Rousdower the movie? What? Who? What?
Now the question that a lot of people have been asking each other in light of all of these events is does that count as LARP? Is that LARP?
Is it LARP?
We have played board games wearing fancy hats and talked in character. Is that a LARP?
So let's break it down here. There's two parts here. Is it role playing?
Yes.
Yes, it's role playing. Role playing isn't necessarily LARP. We've all been there before.
Yeah. Is it live action? Are the things that your character is doing what your character is doing?
I mean, you're going down a path, because I was not killing cultists in that board game. But I rolled dice, and those dice killed a cultist.
Well, it's funny that you brought up parlor LARPs earlier, because it's like, even in a parlor LARP, you're kind of halfway. You're not all the way there. You're in a room describing what you're doing.
Yeah, as long as what you're doing is standing around looking pompous, then you're live action role playing. But as soon as someone goes to throw a punch, it's no longer a punch. It's not a LARP anymore.
You're not punching a person when you have a buffer, and you whack them on the back. That's not a punch.
Yes, someone else seeing that would say that's not a punch.
So where is the line? And then you start. I would personally argue that is a historical reenactment a LARP? Yes. Is going to a
Ren Fair
a LARP? Maybe.
Is going to a con.
I believe that you can LARP at a Renaissance fair.
Oh, god damn it. I got a LARP right now!
I'm gonna...
Hi, LARP Central here. What can I do for you? All of this has given us some thought on what exactly is a LARP, what are some things that we're bringing to the table in the LARP, and moving forward, how are we going to try to continue this hobby that requires people being within contact with each other, sleeping in cabins.
Yeah. Now, I would say that unless the LARP that you're playing is literally hackers working from their own living rooms at their computers,
I'd go to that LARP,
right? Probably these live events aren't LARP, but I don't think that makes them less valid. I know that I have participated in a lot of really satisfying role-playing games with role-playing opportunities that weren't They didn't have the L and the A at the beginning. They were just roleplay. And that's still fun, and in, like, what's the big deal if it's not a LARP?
You could bring some things up, but like a LARP is like, you know, there are props. There's a lot of things that people bring to LARP that aren't necessarily things that you would need to roleplay.
Well, one of the things that I've seen every live event that I've been to or heard of that happened on Discord, the game writers took as an opportunity to do the stories that they were never going to be able to tell with props.
Things you can't wrap in a LARP.
Machine guns for Dead Legends.
Your horse!
Your horse!
How many times have I wanted to say I had a horse? I did.
Legends of the Seas, you fought a kraken.
Right.
So this does open up new possibilities for you as well.
When we were on the boat at Legends of the Seas, it was just like, oh, we're just riding a boat like we would never be able to do a game.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, those are those little things. I always think it's funny. It's like the little things that you would have in your everyday life that you just can't rep at a LARP.
Yeah.
So that has been a positive, I would say.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Opinions on virtual LARPs moving forward.
I will definitely be going to more. I still have mixed feelings, but it's kind of the next best thing, and it's a great way to sort of interact with your friends in a way that you haven't been able to in a while.
I almost want to say I wouldn't be sad if they happened occasionally, even in the future. I know there's a lot of people who have strong opinions that LARP happens at LARP and outside is no bueno, but I think that if you just make it still be an event and say, okay, this is the dead of winter and there's a blizzard, we're gonna do a virtual event. And now we've got some practice in how to do that, and we kind of know what it's going to look like. I wouldn't be against trying to do that kind of thing going forward.
Yeah.
Final thoughts. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it again. It's new territory for everyone. Yeah. So there are some of the interesting new things, the new territory.
The new frontier.
The new frontier. The
new technological frontier.
There's certainly untapped potential there. Even if it's not the exact thing that we want to do, which is go out and pretend to shoot our fake guns and hit each other with fake weapons, there are certainly things that you can do that make it really interesting.
There's a lot of creative people out there, and I think if we give this a little bit more time, I think they'll be able to work out those kinks and figure out a great way to continue virtual events into the future. And I completely agree with Phil. I think doing this again during extreme weather cases or as a social event is perfectly fine. We've had social events
absolutely
multiple times where people don't bring guns or shoot each other or hit each other over the head with foam weapons. So it's completely possible. Just gotta have an open mind towards it.
Absolutely. So until then,
until next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeehaw!
I'm wearing a hood.
So this is, I guess, the outro. We'll talk, do our things that we normally do. Gold bars. I feel this is a bubble.
Hello? Hello, LARP? Is that you? It's me, Ralstar.